Good morning. And it is early morning. It is 5:38. The boat's prepped. It is pitch black. I'll just switch your cabin lights off. It's pitch black, but I need to get out for the tide. I won't go out to sea in the dark, but I'll get down the river in the dark. Proper good cold weather. Driving in this morning, there was a big full moon which has just dipped below the horizon. 0 on the temperature dial. Yeah, all icy on the boat, but it's had 20 minutes to thaw out and give the engine a nice warm up. I'll tootle down the river. When it gets light, we'll go out to sea, see what we can find. See you there. What a morning. Came down the river to a sky full of stars, listening to the owls, listening to the oyster catchers, listening to the curlew. I came out as it started to get light. I had dolphins crossing the bow, clearing the water, and we've now got a sunrise like this. All we need to do now is put the icing on the cake and see if we can catch some fish. I'm out at a wreck that's new to me, so I'm just going to set up, have a pass with the mackerel feathers, see if there's anything on it to make it worthwhile, catch up a little bit of bait hopefully. What I'm hoping to do is, it's a new wreck to me, so I'm not entirely sure, but I'm hoping to catch it on slack water high and put a bit of bait down. And then it was a full moon, so it's obviously a really big tide, so we'll switch to lures as the ebb tide starts to build. Because it is a full moon, sorry, a little trouble with the GoPro there. Yeah, because it is a full moon, it's probably going to get too strong for wreck fishing, so we'll have a little dabble and then move on to a reef. We will see how it goes, but I'm a happy chap already. Great start to the morning. See some fish about. Right, first little run through the wreck. Just got some mackerel feathers baited with a little bit of squid. I think I might have just missed slack water actually, but we're just over half a knot adrift at the moment, so that's good enough for bait fishing if I can pick up some bait. I have got a little bit of frozen, but it'd be nice to get some fresh to go with it. See if there's anything on there. Like I said, new wreck to me. We're in 70 metres of water, 0.7 of a knot on a beautiful morning. And there's something on the wreck. Lovely. It's always a bit tricky when you come to a new wreck. You don't know if most of them are whole fish, but it could have been netted recently or anything like that and not be healthy, but yeah, there's some fish on the wreck. Oh, I just dropped off. Lovely little bait-sized pout. There it is, just dropped off at the surface. Where are we? Get another drop on this drift. I don't need much bait. The tide's going to pick up fairly quickly, so it's not going to be suitable for bait fishing for too long. So yeah, another 1 or 2 of those would be ample really. Straight into another one. Feels a little bit larger. Larger one of the same thing, and that'll do me for a minute. Let's get some bait down before the tide picks up too much. Right, just repositioning with some bait. Just thought I'd share the sunrise with you. A little bit of a slop from the northeast, but that's an absolutely cracking day for late November. Right, let's get repositioned on this wreck. Lovely, that's back round for a first drift with some bait. Got the smaller pollock, just taken off one side. I've got 2 hook wrecking rig on, should have showed you really. So 1 fillet's on the top hook, the rest of it, head and guts and everything, on the bottom hook. With a little addition which I'll tell you about if it works. .6, .7 of a knot, so yeah, just decent for bait fishing. I missed the full slack water. I had to wait at the bottom of the estuary just for it to get a little bit light to come out to sea. So yeah, just missed it by a touch, but it's fine, absolutely fine. Couple of drifts with bait and then we'll move on to lures. Well, I reckon that's how the tide will work out anyway. Something's pecking at it, feels like smaller fish. Don't mind if smaller fish peck at it a little bit, because it'll create like a dust trail of bits, which might attract something bigger and more vicious. And I've got 10-hour hooks down there, so I shouldn't hook a pout maybe, hopefully. Never can tell with greedy pout. Oh no. Got the bottom. That's hard in the wreck, that. I'll see if I can drive it round and pull it clear. Right, drop 1 was not at all successful. Some pollock nibbles and then got into the wreck. Sometimes if you get hooked up on a bit of kelp or a bit of old net or something, you can feel it, it's got a bit of give. You can bounce it out with a lead. That was absolutely just solid in the wreck. So I tried manoeuvring the other side to pull it out, but nope, lost the lot unfortunately. So anyway, re-rigged, sun's up a little bit higher, managed to get rid of a layer. The tide is picking up on the ebb though. We're between 0.9 and 1 knot, so probably the last drift with bait, and then it'll get too strong for trying to keep it in contact with the wreck. So, ever hopeful. And we've got some dolphins joining us as well. Just smaller fish. Slightly bigger, smaller fish, but smaller fish. I'll give it a second drift with bait. It's just getting too strong for it really. Third drift I suppose, but lost the first one, so yeah, worth a try. What a fabulous day. Honestly, the weather, I know we always moan about it, but it's been so atrocious, and the forecast for this weekend at the beginning of the week was a complete write-off, and then it was only Thursday the forecast changed, the wind swung round, a bit of high pressure built up. We have got just virtually nothing but a gentle northeasterly here, yeah, and absolutely glorious. Straight into small fish, don't you can see the rod tip rattling there. Amazing. Never get fed up of seeing that. Well, let's see if the lures can do any good. Fairly simple stuff here, you know me. Sliding boom, 6 ounce lead because we've just got over a knot of tide. I've got some 40-pound fluorocarbon because you never know. About 8 foot of that probably, onto starting off with my old favourite, the Sidewinder Joey, 4 inches. Yeah, it was a bit of a rush to get here and try the bait fishing, and I didn't quite make it on time. Just 2 drifts, so yeah, no good on that, but not to worry. The wreck seems very healthy, so yeah, we'll give it a go with the lures and see. I don't know what's on this wreck, not fished it before. Likely culprits, as everything in the southwest here. Pollock, it'd be nice to catch some nice pollock. Maybe some bass, perhaps cod. It's the time of year for cod, but they've been few and far between this year. So yeah, pollock is the most likely target species, but who cares really? Look at this beautiful day, the sun's out. Might even drop another top in a minute. Dolphins are about, the sea's calm. What could be better? .2 knots adrift. That 6 ounce lead is perfectly adequate for this tide. And for a nice change this year, no wind. No wind to blow us along and confuse the picture. Turn this around just a touch. Nice and fighty this. It's either a big scrappy pout or a bass, I would say. I know what I'm hoping for. First nice fish of the day, and it's a bass, just lip hooked. Look at that, it's gone. So that one's 48 centimetres. It's a good takeable size, but it's a nice healthy fish. And it's not the fattest, although it is 48 centimetres, so I could take it, and I hope I don't regret this, but if you watch my last video, some of the fish from the deeper wrecks, and by deeper for this area, this is about 70 metres, they come up blown, so yeah, I'll hope for a bigger one and see what happens. Right, let's go around again. Well, drift number 1 worked nicely with the lures, so no changes. Keep it all the same and see what happens with drift 2. And that feels like a better bass to me. I'd like it to be over 50 centimetres, and then that's a pot one. It's always a bit of a gamble with an early start. You never know how the day's going to develop, but yeah, the 4:15 alarm was worth it for today, without a doubt. Would have been worth it without fish, but not that I've landed it yet, but to have fish as well, an absolute bonus. Another bass, but that is a similar size, and again, I don't know if you can see sort of the girth. It's a nice fish but quite slim and in good condition. And back it goes. Lovely. Are we off the wreck? Yeah, pretty much. Round again. It's a bit difficult to tell with fish when they fight. That felt like a bigger fish. If anything, I would say it was probably slightly smaller. My best days bass fishing, I had one about 5, one 7, and one was just over 10. My only double figure bass, and the 7-pounder was the hardest fighting of them all. The 10-pounder came to life very close to the surface, difficult to tell by their fight. I think I got caught into a bit of net. That was 10 turns up. Try an eel this time around. Yeah, you might be able to see or not. I always tie my lures with a loop. There are several different types of knot that you can use to create a loop at the end. Mine's just a simple double loop. It's the weakest knot in my rig. Now, I'm going to say I've never lost a fish with the knot, but it is the weakest knot in the system. So if you wreck fishing, it does get snagged like that last one did. Then that's where it parts. So yeah, just lost the lure and didn't leave lots of other stuff on the bottom. A little bit off the wreck on this one, but going to be drifting onto it. Just changed over to an eel. Had 2 bass with the small little joey there, similar size. So yeah, put the eel on in the hope that might tempt something a little bit bigger. We will see. Looks like it might be another boat coming out to join me, and why not on this fine day? Oh, it's getting warm. That wasn't a complaint, by the way. Absolutely glorious. Now that is a nice fish. Nice when you hook into a decent fish just as another boat arrives. That's the Gemini, I think, charter boat, Dartmouth boat, but it parks in moors in Salcombe. this from the net. Now that is a beautiful fish on that eel. About 54 centimetres that one, and that is coming home with me. Well, if we can repeat that, that'll be very nice. Let's see how we go. Oh, that was a big hit, and it left it. The thing with bass, they'll sometimes swing past and flick it with their tails. They'll just hit it. Just keep what you're doing, because they'll then hopefully turn around and swallow the stunned prey. Didn't do on that occasion, but that was a decent fish as well. Yeah, I missed a good bite on that last drift, but I just had a word with the charter skipper there, Malcolm, a man with a proven track record. So if he's out here, he knows something, or maybe he's out here because I'm here. Who knows? Right, give this eel another drift. Where are we? Yeah, tide's holding nice actually. Not picking up too strong yet, still 1.3. Ideal. Nothing on that last drift, not a nibble. Let's see if this one proves any better. If not, I'll change the lure. Maybe we won't be changing the lure. This feels like another good bass actually. Happy with that. Not quite as big as the other one, but 50 centimetres. I'll measure it just to check. But yep, bang on 50. Very nice. So I had my two fish, two very nice sized bass. I'll sort those out. I've moved on to a different wreck because I've caught my two fish and, and there's tuna here. So, I haven't seen any today. They're not very far away. You won't be able to pick them up. You might see the bird activity around them. They're just a couple of 100 metres away. Let's drive that way and see. And some dolphin. Yeah, I don't think I caught any of the tuna on camera, but oh, the dolphin are hard to miss. Let's go a bit, they just want to play. They're just an incredible sight. They're still here now. Just an incredible sight. Yeah, I'll probably give the wreck a little go anyway. But with all these dolphin and tuna around, I think the chances are pretty slim. But yeah, I'll give them a little go. Sure what they're doing, but it just seems like they're having fun to me. Right, sort these fish out and get back onto the wreck. I've got a feeling this wreck's going to be a bit of a waste of time with all those predators on it recently. I've just swapped down to a smaller lure. I'll give that a little go. Yeah, but if that doesn't produce anything on this drift, I'll go on to the reef and see what that does. Saying that, we have hooked into something. Not huge, but at least they're out and feeding. Big old scad. Yeah, I think I'll give up on this wreck and see if the reef will produce anything. Okay, I've come in quite a bit shallower to a reef. We're in 43 metres of water, drifting at 1.6. And I'm hoping that there might be some cod here. I have had cod here before at this time of year on this lure. What a cracking day to be out there. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that today, but it just is for late November. It's fabulous. A couple of bass for the pot as well so far. That's really good. And all those dolphins further out, just an incredible sight to see. Yeah, not great for fishing when the dolphins and tuna are around, but I'll live with that. You can't complain about dolphins. I'll complain about tuna, but you can't complain about dolphins. Such fantastic creatures. Hopefully I might have caught some on camera today. You never know. This reef covers quite a large area. I don't know if you can see them because they're quite a way off. There's looks like two other warriors actually fishing the reef further in. That area is more likely to catch bass, and I've got my quota of bass, so yeah, hoping there might be something else out here. There's a lovely amount of tide, 1.7 knots. I mean, it's absolutely perfect for lure fishing, in my humble opinion. Still, you can tick all the boxes and still not catch fish. The bottom does feel spongy, which I'm hoping is brittle stars. Cod absolutely gorge themselves on brittle stars if they're around. I'll see if this new bit of reef can pull anything out. Still on the lures. Oh, first drop on this new bit. Oh, something's taking line. This is a nice fish, whatever it is. Well, I really don't know what we're hooked into here, but it's a fighter. What are you? Made a right hash of this. Let's move this over. I was not expecting this here. It's a beast of a pollock. Look at the size of that. That tiny little sidewinder. Very happy with that. The little 4-inch sidewinder Joey does the business again. And that is a monster of a pollock. Well, I really wasn't expecting a pollock that size from this section of reef. I just re-rigged and used with 15-pound fluorocarbon, so I had to be a little bit careful with it. So yeah, obviously very happy with that size fish. Well, we'll continue this drift on the reef and see if there's any more about. Makes such a nice change not to be slopping about and blowing about and having wind against tide. I think it's certainly one of the few days this year that we've had no wind. It's yeah, really nice. This section of reef here has got quite a prominent shoulder on it, about 10 metres. So we're in 57 metres at the moment, and it rises to about 47, 46 metres, something like that. So I've fished it a couple of times. Apart from that first pollock, nothing really, but there has been the odd big tuna splash around. So I'm going to fish that shoulder with the lure, and then on the sort of plateau bit at sort of 45, 46 metres, I've been getting the odd plucky bite just a few turns from the bottom. So I'll do the first bit of the drift with the lure and see if that does anything on this shoulder. And if that doesn't, nearly all ready. If that doesn't do anything, I'm going to switch to a squid jig and just see if it's squid that's giving me these plucky bites. Just have a look at this though now. We haven't had days like this in the summer. No look for the squid, but yeah, just towards the end of that drift, a very large tuna came up literally about 20 feet away from the boat, so that's going to scare everything off. That had to be 7 foot, something like that. Only single fish, but they will scare everything off. The strength's gone out of the tide now. I'm only drifting at less than a knot. So I've come to a different area reef away from the tuna with a squid sausage. See if there are any bottom feeders around that fancy that. Have a drift along with this. If that doesn't do any good, might head for home. If it does good, might stay for a bit longer. Well, the downside to dragging a bait across the bottom is that sometimes you're going to hook into things other than fish. So I've just lost that squid sausage. No problem, but I'm going to call it a day at that. It's been a fantastic day. Some winters you don't get winter fishing at all. The weather just doesn't allow for it, and you have got to be sensible. And then some winters you get days like this. It is absolutely glorious, really nice day. Like I said at the beginning of the video, a cracking trip out in the dark in the river, and then as the day broke, coming out, listening to all the seabirds. The dolphins were spectacular today. Absolutely marvellous, and that would have done me for the day. On top of that, I've got a big eating pollock and 2 really nice sized bass. So I hope you enjoyed joining me. Whether there'll be any more winter fishing, we will see. If there is, I'll bring you with me. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.